Welcome to DMs for Days, our first and ever last podcast that we're ever going to create. I'm Michael, and this is Lluvia, and this is Mustafa. And how's your guys' day been?
Well, my days have been okay. Just tough life. Semester's been going crazy. Just papers and papers piling up. Yeah. How about you, Michael?
Hella tired. Like this is toward the end of the semester, and I have so much work to do, so much homework, and it's incredibly crazy. I'm preparing for graduation, and I'm kind of scared, to be honest.
Everybody's scared.
Hella scared, yeah. What about you, Lluvia?
I'm pretty much in the phase where I'm just kind of I gave up, and I'm just praying a lot.
You just give up hella easy.
I'm just you know what, God, Jesus, take the wheel.
This is just the worst case of senioritis for everyone, I guess.
Yeah,
except
that's
it's
true.
just we're hella lagging in college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're almost done. I don't know.
I mean, this is intimidating, having 3 cameras, pointing at all of us, at the same time with all these lights.
Yeah.
It feels so intimidating. It feels like we're being interviewed. It's crazy. But do you guys have any plans, later, over the weekend, or?
Well, I'm gonna go watch The Avengers tomorrow, hopefully. If I get tickets.
Oh, that's cool.
Are you gonna go, are you gonna go with a couple people, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if my family can come with me, but my family's not into superheroes.
Oh. Well, if anything, if I'm free,
Yeah, sure.
I'm down.
Yeah.
You better tag me along. I really
Yeah,
want to see.
yeah.
Yeah, it's going to hella dope.
I'm always down for a good movie, especially in IMAX. So you like to
Yeah,
watch them in
I'm
IMAX?
gonna watch an IMAX tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
If
cool.
you guys want, 9:45.
Alright. Oh, damn, that's early.
Damn, that's crazy.
It's
At
9:45. Oh, at night. Okay, okay.
Okay, so technically happy hour, huh?
Yeah.
Alright, that's cool.
Alright, what would you, do you have any plans?
Well, today is my girlfriend's friend's birthday, so we're probably gonna hit up a club or something. I don't know.
You're not going to go too crazy, are you?
Nah, I'm pretty chill. Especially when I'm out, people are crazy now. So it's I just go out, I have my fun, I go home. I don't stay out till 5 in the morning no more. Not about that life.
Yeah, I used to go out way too much.
Yeah.
Always out, and usually I'll go back to my place around 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Longest I ever been out was up until 6 in the morning.
Yeah, when you're at Denny's for breakfast.
Yeah, hella Denny's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was drinking at this guy's apartment, right? And we ended up drinking all the way up to 5, and then we decided to go to Denny's. So then we ended up staying at Denny's for an hour, and then just ordered the biggest, fattest meal ever. I felt hella bad.
That's a lot of calories, dude.
Yeah.
If you don't sleep, you don't get hungover.
Yeah,
That's why I
that's
see
true,
it.
yeah.
You just stay away from that.
Yeah. All right. So today we're going to be talking about something that everyone can pretty much relate to. Pretty much the most I wouldn't say controversial, but the most common topic, and that is the friend zone. So how do you guys define the friend zone?
Oh, that's a good question. I would define friend zone as being friends with someone, but then in the end, you like that person, but then turns out that other person doesn't like you and just becomes a friend of you, and you kind of try to be okay about it and just, awkward, and it's really tough. I don't know, what do you guys think?
Let's backtrack and say, do you believe the friend zone exists?
I don't know if friend zone exists. Maybe it does exist, and if it does, guys, be careful.
It's not just guys, though.
Yeah.
The girls can be in it too.
Yeah.
That's true.
The way I define friend zone is everybody's aware.
Mm-hmm.
Both parties are aware. Everybody knows that somebody wants something more, and the other one's put those brakes.
Yeah.
We're cool where we're at. I'm not physically interested, or maybe I'm dating someone, or you know what I mean.
Yeah. There's actually an argument that came out. I think it's still going on today. So they'll talk about when they approach someone, right? Mm-hmm. And then they ask someone out because they have feelings for a while, and they develop those feelings over time. But then when they get rejected, sometimes people will blame being put in the friend zone over it, which is
Right.
something that's kind of interesting. And then the way that they deal with it afterwards, it's like it kind of defines like the type of personality that you have, and like defines who you are. And then other people made an argument saying that the friend zone itself, it doesn't exist. It's either if you end up rejecting someone, it's either they're interested in you or they're not.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, like, to see like both sides of the argument, and then just saying, "Oh, hey, like, by the way, like, I think the main thing that everyone can relate to is that if they reject you, and if you know them for a while, they'll usually say, okay, I think it's better if we stay as friends,
Yeah.
you know."
Yeah.
So on that note, like, does it ever happen to you that often? Like,
No.
you ever been put in the friend zone, or
Not
have you ever
that
experienced it?
often, but no. I mean, I think it's happened to everybody. I think that everybody's pretty much been on both sides of that coin, whether they know it or not. But my thing is, like, my thing that I look at is, if you feel that you're in the friend zone, a lot of people try to stick around and like to try to see if they're gonna get out of the friend zone.
Mm.
Like, I feel that if you're gonna be friends with somebody, it needs to be genuine. It's not like, oh, well, I'm gonna be friends with you, but only to see what's gonna happen later on. Like, it shouldn't be that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've been in the friend zone and I'm cool with it, or I'm not. And I mean, what do you say? There's a lot more fish in the sea. So it's like,
Like, do people even still say that? Like,
I
I haven't even heard of it like, in such a long time. Like,
Actually, some people do say it, but not often, just regular. I mean, just when someone's in friend zone, they would say, yeah, if someone's relationship doesn't work out, and then they'll just say, there's a lot of fishes in the sea. I'll just hook one up.
yeah.
yeah, I think there was only one experience that I can recall being in a friend zone. It's just that, like, the first time that I ever talked to someone, like, we never really established anything platonic. So for me, what I define the friend zone is that if I've known someone for a while, but like if I ended up having like someone tell me that they'd rather just be friends, then that's like what I define the friend zone. Like, it's my personal definition, because the word friend zone, I think it involves friendship. So
Yeah.
that's why I tie like those two together.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on that note, like, do you guys ever friend zone someone, like being on the opposite end, or did it only happen like?
To be honest, for me, that would happen only once, and then I just moved on with my life. That's it. Yeah.
I've friend zoned people.
No one has to hear that.
I've friend zoned people, and I'm kind of weird about it. Like, I feel like once I know someone likes me, and I'm like, I don't feel the same way, I kind of freak out. Like, I'm like, oh, don't tell me you like me. Like, if I like you, I don't know how to say it, but there's been people in my life that they've come across me and they'll be like, they'll write me letters, and they're like, oh, I like you or something, and I'm like, oh shit, now I gotta see them tomorrow, and now it's like, I know they like me, now I'm gonna be all weird, you know what I mean? It's so uncomfortable. It's like, nah, don't tell me, like, I don't know, it's weird.
Like, so do you believe there's a difference between friend zoning a friend and friend zoning a stranger, or just like telling them like you're not interested, like with a friend versus a stranger? Like, do you believe there's a difference?
I think so, because I think a stranger, they have a better chance of coming in and being like, I'm not trying to see you as a friend, I'm trying to see you as something more. You know what I'm saying? Like, people tend to come into our lives and they're like, oh, I'm gonna sneak in the friend back door, you know what I mean? Like, no, come in how you want to come in. Like, if you like someone, approach them in that way, and it makes it easier. But once you've known someone for so long, and then they're like, oh, now I got feelings for you, I think it's harder.
Like, it's kind of like tough to like turn someone down if you've known them for a long time.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's difficult. I don't think I ever recall ever friend zoning someone.
No?
Like, to be honest, because again, like, I never like established anything platonic with anybody. So it's like, if it happens, it happens. Like, I had gone into relationships where like it just happened out of the blue. Like, I didn't expect it at all.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a little bit crazy to think about, like, seeing like that type of perspective. You know? But the thing that I found interesting is that, like, have you guys seen the movie Just Friends?
Yeah.
The 2005 film?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds acted in that movie, and he said a line that I found, like, kind of funny. So basically he said that when a girl decides that you're her friend, you're no longer a dating option. You become a complete non-sexual entity in her eyes, like a brother or a lamp.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn,
That's messed up.
couldn't be farther from the truth.
Yeah. Like, hey, what's up, man?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's crazy. I mean, it's kind of hard, like, too, like, you gotta define boundaries. Like, what do you think about the boundaries in the friend zone?
Like, if someone were to be friend zoned, they can't really have the same impression on that friend anymore. Because it's like, once you ask that question, they'll think of you differently. Like, you'll have a different impression of them.
Yeah.
So it'll be hard for someone to be able to keep being persistent and trying to ask someone they're interested in. And it's going to get even tougher, like, in the long run,
Yeah.
the more time passes. Because sometimes you're going to be stuck with so many questions in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And mostly those questions are like, what if this happened? Or what if
Yeah.
I done something different? And I feel like that fear of asking yourself what if all the time, I think that's what worries a lot of people,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, have you guys ever experienced that yourself? Like, so many what if questions and just like ever being hesitant on ever asking someone out if you've known them for a while?
I never really felt that way. I mean, in my mind, it's like if I have friends, like they're my friends. Once they're my friends, I don't see them as anything else. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I used to have problems asking anybody out. Really, I was horrible. Like I'd see somebody that I liked and be like, oh damn, oh shit, and I turn the other way, like, like what do I do? You know what I'm saying? So it was already difficult for me.
Well, for me, the thing is when I approach someone, I'm kind of shy. So yeah, just to let you guys know, I'm kind of shy. So yeah, that's why I'm not in friend zone.
So what do you guys think about how the term friend zone came to be?
Well, to be honest, I don't know how the term came up, so no clue about that one.
I feel like it came from a bitter person. Like, like man, forget her. She friends on me. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, I was looking it up, and I saw that it did originate in 1994. But I feel like people didn't really start using it until social media came along. Because I mean, I've seen pictures. It'll be like a guy hugging a girl, you know, and he's like all cuddling her, and then she's like, he'll be like, oh, we make a cute couple, and she'll be like, shut up, like, you know you're my friend, or you know what I'm saying? Like she'll put him on blast or something, like.
Yeah.
But I really feel that that's where it came from. Like it just kind of grew out of social media.
Yeah, I think like the early days of like social media, like whenever you see something, like it's relatable.
Yeah.
And people really connect to it.
Yeah.
And friend zone's like one of those like really common topics that everyone's like, oh man, like I've been through that so many times.
Yeah.
Or I at least been through it once. I'm not saying I have like been in the friend zone like so many times, but like
Sorry. I'm just sorry.
hey. Damn.
I'm just kidding.
Hello.
I mean, we've all been there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It happens to everybody.
Yeah, but what do you think the media's perception on like being in friend zone is? Because as of right now, especially like back in February of this year, Marshmello and Anne Marie came out with a song called "Friends," and it was written in the perspective of someone friend zoning someone, and basically it's like talking about, oh hey, like I'm tired of dealing like with so many signs that you're giving me and that you keep coming on to me. So like I'm hella annoyed at this point, and so I have to spell out for you that we're friends.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like that's hella real. That's a hella like sad song.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but what do you think of how the media like perceives it? Because it's so common.
Yeah.
The media, well, I believe the media is not doing a great job, because if someone's been friend zoned, and what if that person likes the other individual, but the thing, he's just pretending to be okay, but deep inside he's just depressed and lonely. And the way the media is doing it's not a good job. So up to you guys.
So you feel like how the media perceives the friend zone? Do you think that's more like toward a negative approach?
Probably, yeah, that's a negative approach.
Think
Yeah.
they're savages.
Yeah. Not savages, but sort of a savage, yeah, but it's not, the way they're portraying it's not that, they're not doing a good job, so.
Yeah. I kind of take it as like they kind of make it funny, like it's like, oh man, you're in the friend zone, like, oh wow, you know what I mean? But it's still kind of like humorous, you know what I'm saying? It gives us hope though. I feel like the media, like if you watch movies, you know, like Just Friends, like look at the ending, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it gives you that hope, like, oh man, let me stick around, like maybe, you know, and it's like you're living your life like this. You're not, like, there's other people around you that probably would give you a chance, but you're so focused on this one person. And it's like, oh, I saw that movie and, you know, they did this, they did that, you know, and it's like, for what? Like, you get with them and then what if you're not happy? You don't know what the relationship is going to be like once you're in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you'll never know for certain unless if you actually like pop the question.
Yeah.
You know? And that's like the biggest hurdle that like everyone has to like deal with. Like you're afraid of rejection. I think that's the most common thing that everyone can relate to. Like I'm still like afraid of it, especially if I see someone that's hella pretty, and like I always like wonder like what if I can do this?
Yeah.
And then there's always that possibility of rejection in your mind. But I feel like as you're getting older, like the fear of rejection starts to become less.
Yeah.
Especially if you've gotten used to how like you deal with that rejection.
Mm-hmm.
Like you either can become like so bitter to the point where you always say, oh, like I'm like always rejected because I'm the nice guy.
Like you're always going to be that friend.
I'm always going to be that friend.
Yeah.
And I feel like people need to get over that hurdle.
Yeah.
It's really tough for everyone to be able to handle rejection, like which is completely understandable, but the main thing is that how are you going to handle it at the end?
Yeah.
You know?
Like failure is a part of success.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's pretty true. And then it's like, I look at people too and they're like, oh, let me change myself. I was reading an article and it was talking about how to get out of the friend zone. Like really, like it talks about, you know, giving each other space, like getting away from them, rebuilding yourself, rebuilding the way you think. Like really, you have to change yourself so somebody else can like you. Like what's the point?
Yeah.
You're not even gonna like you.
Especially like with these ads of saying, oh hey, for $20 a month I can give you advice on how to get out of the friend zone.
Yeah.
And it's like you know, like the topic of relationships itself and just like asking someone out, I think that's something that everyone like pretty much goes through and can relate.
Yeah.
So I feel like they feel like that can do well in the market. But, you know, like all these life lessons they can come for free in a way.
Yeah.
As long as you're able to like deal with it, you know?
That's true. What do you think?
Yeah, well, you guys it's really a good point, and you guys make sense. So yeah, I would agree with you guys too about it.
Yeah. So if you were in a friend zone, like would you want to deal with it, or would you just be like, whatever, forget it?
I would say just forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like Would you guys stick around? Like if you knew you were in the friend zone, if you guys were both aware, like she's like, stop trying.
Like honestly, I have never been in that kind of situation at all. It's like if I end up getting the answer of them wanting to stay as friends, or if they're not interested in general, I wouldn't really pursue anything farther. Because I feel like as soon as you make that impression on someone, there's no way you can change it.
Yeah.
Like it's still a part of your psyche.
Yeah.
You know? So for me personally, I wouldn't do anything at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what about you guys?
Same here, Michael. Just all yours, man.
Yeah, I just think too, like as you get older, you kind of have less and less friends anyway. Like
That's hella sad.
yeah, like we're all getting old, we're all settling down. You know, we get together with our kids, and that's it. Like I'll see you next birthday party. You know what I mean? Like it's not even like adult birthday parties. It's like I'll see you at your kid's gonna be 5. Okay, I'll see you then. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, say if you were being in a friend zone, like, for one reason or another, like if you show an interest, you know, for a while you've been friend zoned. Do you believe there is a way out of it?
I think there could be, but with time.
Yeah, probably.
Cause,
Yeah. I
cause
agree with
honestly,
you.
like an example, my girlfriend now, she didn't put me in the friend zone. Like we had met like years ago, and we just kind of looked at each other as friends. Like we both were kind of like, you know, I thought she was cute, but I was like, whatever. Like I need more friends, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I never really pursued anything with her, and I never really like expressed myself in that way. And we kind of just grew apart. We stopped talking for a while. You know, I got in a relationship, lasted 4 years. You know, she got in a relationship, lasted 4 years, and we kind of reunited. Like it was kind of weird. Like we both were in that breakup, and then we had our time to like get over it, and then we kind of like ran into each other, and it was like just perfect timing. Like, oh, you know, maybe we'll pursue it. You know, and we kind of gave each other a chance this time, and it's been working out pretty good. But I mean, we weren't technically like in the friend zone. I guess you could say we put each other each in the friend zone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we kind of, I mean, I think you can, but I don't think you should force it. You know?
Yeah, I agree with you that too.
Yeah.
Like there's a huge like debate going around saying that like from one side of the argument they're talking about like there's no way out of the friend zone. Like once you're in it, that's it.
Yeah.
And then but then I hear personal stories too about someone like that are able to get out of the friend zone like by concept.
Yeah.
Because like they know them for a while. Like the first time, like I know someone that was originally in the friend zone, but then as time went on, as he like he stayed friends with her like for a certain amount of time, and he wasn't pressuring her at all.
Yeah.
And then that's when like she gradually started to develop feelings for him, and then they eventually like got into a relationship, but it took a really long time.
Yeah.
So for me personally, like I would say that I kind of feel indifferent about getting out of the friend zone. Like I've seen it happen, but the likelihood of that happening is like really small.
Yeah. Do you think so? It makes it harder as people like push towards getting out of the friend zone. Like, do you feel like once they're in the friend zone, they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep trying to get out."
It kind of like ruins their mood a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it could even like shut down their self-esteem, because again, like going back to the topic of rejection, like you have that really horrible gut-wrenching feeling that like, you know, you can't really do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like you feel powerless, and people will often like find themselves like completely like, you know, afraid of what the other person might think of them now.
Yeah.
So to be able to like handle that, get over it, like just seeing someone who's been friend zoned and still staying friends with them, I think that's pretty much like an incredible thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like again, like I've seen it on so many rare occasions that like if you're willing to stick it out for that long, is it really worth investing in it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like either you really stick with that person or you just move on to the next.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true. Like, what if they're not worth it? You get in relationships with people and it's still work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
And you might not even like, even if you are friends with someone, you might not completely know them until you see that more intimate side of them.
yeah.
You know? Like you won't be able to say like who they actually are until you actually get to know them being in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like there is a huge difference between being in like a friendship versus a relationship in general. Because like being in like if you're being friends with someone, it's like okay, like no pressure. You're like being in a casual environment where you're like, you know, sharing your ideas freely and not be as judged as if you're going to be in a relationship.
Right.
Because then they're going to hold something against you if you do something wrong, or if you say something that's going to offend them.
Mm-hmm.
Like that could be brought up in the long run.
Yeah. And then do you think it makes a difference if they're already in a relationship and then they friend zone you, as opposed to if they're single and they friend zone you?
I feel like there is a slight difference.
Yeah.
Because there's actually a good enough reason to friend zone someone if you are in a relationship versus if you're single.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mike, I have a question. When someone is sick and they put you in the friend zone, well, how is your reaction gonna be?
My reaction? Oh, my reaction, like, as of right now, I would just, like, be indifferent. But then back then, like, I used to, like, be a little bit bitter toward it. But then I was, like, a naive kind of kid. Like, especially, like, back in high school, I used to like a certain girl who just got out of a relationship. And then in my mind, I thought it would be a good move to take advantage of that. But then, you know, like, I kind of like asked her out, like right then. And that's such a bad mood because like I don't want to be that rebound guy, but then I ended up trying to be anyway. So then I asked her out, and then she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I think it's better that we're friends." And then for a few days, I was like hella bitter about it. It's like, why can't she like me?
Yeah.
But then I didn't account for like that she got out of a relationship, so she might need space, and maybe she really wants to view me as a friend. So. Like at that point, there isn't really much that I can really do. Like the only thing I can do at that point is just like complain about it.
Yeah.
But then
what does that do?
It doesn't do anything. Yeah. It's like you just ended up looking like a complete idiot, you know. But that's like high school for you, you know. You'll figure something out, and then as you get older, like you know how to deal with the situation better.
I know I have this friend, and he would tell me like, oh yeah, like like he was working with this girl, and I'm like, man, she's fire, you know, and I'm like, all right, whatever. And he's like, but she has a boyfriend, and he's like, but I'm there, I'm the shoulder to cry on, you know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't gonna be together forever. And I'm like, what? Like, man, people perceive the friend zone in so many different ways, you know what I mean? Like, he kind of took advantage of that situation. Like, when she's upset with him, I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna help her. And then she's gonna see me, when they break up, she's gonna remember me. I'm like, does that really work? You know what I mean? Like,
it doesn't work, but like a friend of mine is going through the same thing. Like he likes this girl, but the thing is that girl just friends on him, and he's kind of devastated about it. But they still talk to each other, which I'm really surprised by. Like, how?
Yeah. you know what's weird is I don't know. I guess this might be a little off topic, but what I have noticed is, when you meet somebody and you act like you don't really care, they tend not to put you on the friend zone as much. Like, they'll be like, what? Why aren't they interested? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I mean, I don't condone being a jerk to people, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, just don't come off so strong, you know? Like, sometimes we tend to do that. Like, this is what I want. I know this is what I want. I'm gonna come on strong. And it's like, no, just chill. Like, go buy a beer or something, you know? Like,
like it's better to be patient.
Yeah.
Especially like if you're making the first move.
Yeah, because I mean, how would you feel like someone likes you and they're just like adamant?
Oh, honestly, I've been there like so many times.
Yeah.
Like there's too many times where girls approach me and they do it so weird and too strong that I just kind of like stay away from it.
You run away.
Like I run, like either run away or just try to like tilt my body away from it. You know?
Yeah.
Like I remember this one time. A few years ago, and I was living at a dorms, and there's this girl that came to an event that I was at. She was like right behind me, and I was in line to get some food, right? So she came up behind me. First thing she does is she would literally like lean forward toward my shoulder, get a big whiff, and tell me, "Oh hey, you smell good."
What?
I was like, I felt hella violated, you know, sometimes like the way that people approach it, it can like put some people off.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I feel like the first couple of seconds of that interaction and the first time that you make that impression, I think that will determine whether they want to pursue a relationship or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
First impressions are important.
Yeah,
So.
that's true.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you two guys. Would you really want to go out on your way and change yourself to get out of the friend zone?
Oh, I wouldn't.
No. I mean, they should like you for who you are. You should like yourself enough to be like, nah, like this is where I want to be. If you don't like it, someone else will, you know?
I feel like it's kind of done like just to change yourself in general.
Yeah.
Because people will catch on to that really quick.
Yeah.
They'll automatically identify you as someone who's hella fake, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, honestly, like, as completely cheesy as this is, the best advice is just to be yourself, you know? That's the best way to approach the situation.
It's true.
Yeah. Let them come to you.
Yeah.
What do you
agree with all you guys' points. So yeah, I'll have to just follow with that one.
I feel like the term friend zone itself, like,
It's fluid.
very fluid and kind of big too. You know, like some people would use it as a way to dismiss like their intentions for like, you know, sexual like advances. And then some people would use the term friend zone like for like romantic like
Yeah.
you know feelings, you know?
Like emotional.
Emotional, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
So why are guys more in the friend zone than girls?
That's kind of tough to answer. Like, although I will say that I have seen some of the guys that get rejected a lot more than girls.
Yeah.
To say that they're being friend zoned more, I'm not sure because you know I'm not them.
But I think too, like guys are the ones that tend to approach women more often than women do men.
Yeah, that's
So-
that's probably the main contributor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'd be rare for a guy to friend zone a girl because, I don't know. I mean, they're just down for.
I mean, it could be just like how like our society like defines like the friend zone.
Yeah.
You know, like the technical like norm for it would be like the guy approaches. You know, because like it's more common for guys to make the first move, and then has like and that way of thinking has been around for a while.
Yeah.
But then you know, like right now it's 2018.
Yeah.
You know, so anything could happen. You know, we can stick with a typical norm of guys always making the first move, or you know, it doesn't hurt for girls to make the first move either.
Right. But then too, like guys want to be like, let me take care of you. So when the girl starts seeing that, like, oh, you know, I got a flat tire on the side of the road, you know, you're thinking you're being the knight in shining armor, but it's like
Maybe you're just being nice.
yeah, you're being
Yeah.
nice. And then she's like, okay, I want him as a friend. Like, I don't want to lose that, you know? Like, he's a really cool guy, you know? And it sucks because I feel like a lot of times it's like, that guy might be exactly what she's looking for, but she's like, I'm too scared to get into that relationship with him because then I'll lose him. Like, we can get in a relationship and, you know, we could break up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, being friends. Like, friends argue, friends fight. You have a tendency to forgive your friends more often than you do when you're dating somebody, you know? What do people expect? Like, what should you expect? Once you're in the friend zone, like, what do you think? That's it. Like, bottom line.
Bottom line, if someone were to friend zone you, just, you know, be cool about it.
Yeah.
Just be a little bit chill. The last thing that you want to do is just to come off completely bitter and just blame on other things. Like, I've heard so many times where people would often say, oh, it's just because I'm too nice. Like, I'm always the nice guy. And it's one of those arguments where you're just, like, kind of annoyed about it because, especially when it comes to the nice guy excuse, are you really a nice guy? Or are you just trying to make advances for your own, like, selfish, like, needs?
Right.
You know? The best approach is just, you know, like, if someone were to like, friend on you, or just being rejected in general, you know? Best advice that I can give you is just, you know, take a step back, just be cool about it, be chill. If you want to stay friends, that's completely fine, you know? But definitely don't come up being spiteful about it.
Right.
It's true.
There's no need for that.
Yeah, that's right. But don't blame anybody else because just you being friends. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I think personally it just all boils down to they're just not interested,
Yeah.
you know? Like, there's nothing you can really do. You can't really change anyone's feelings.
Yeah.
The only thing you can do is change how you feel.
Yeah.
And also don't force somebody else into a relationship because that's gonna take to another level, and you don't want to go. I don't want anybody to go on that level. So yeah, just
Like, you don't want to come off controlling.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, just whatever.
Just whatever.
Just roll with the
Just
punches.
roll it.
Just ride the wave, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. Like,
Yeah. Alright, so that is it on talking about the friend zone. What are you guys going to do after? Because I am hella hungry.
Yeah,
I am down
me
for,
too.
like, personally, I am down for Panda Express right now.
Yeah.
I gotta go to work.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoy watching this podcast. And we may or may not come up with another one. Probably will be like the last podcast we'll ever make, but hope you guys enjoy it out there. And we'll see you later.
around.
All right,
See you around.
stay safe.
Stay out of the friend zone.